Yes.
Hey there. Welcome to a very, very special GSPN live podcast directly following the Milwaukee Bucks soundly, sort of, beating the Indiana Pacers at home, but most importantly, following Giannis Antetokounmpo breaking one of the few at this point Bucks records he has not yet shattered, scoring a Bucks and of course career high 64 points. I think a lot has been said before and during these Bucks Pacers matchups along the lines of Giannis, maybe just go score 60. They don't really have an answer for you. Giannis took that advice to heart in this game. Very excited to be joined by Jordan Treske to talk about this and the controversies with six. It's a joke that I say controversies wrong, just in case anyone doesn't know. But excited to have you here, Jordan, to discuss this. First, of course, how's it going?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I've been waiting for this day for a very long time. We've had a lot of close calls, a lot of 50 burgers, too many 50 burgers. I got to watch my weight diet. And finally, Giannis breaks through, hitting free throws, sending a message to the Indiana Pacers. And what do? They act like bums. Bums.
You said you said you had a lot to say and you clearly meant it.
I do. It is stupid that you take a game ball owed to one of the best basketball players of our lifetime, generation. And I know they haven't won any titles. They certainly didn't win any NBA Cup. And they had to do something so heinous. I haven't seen a heinous act like this in years. I don't think that's actually how that quote goes, but yeah, stupid idiots. I'm glad you got everything that you got tonight because there's more coming. It's the trade. If there's any team that Giannis would have set the scoring record against, it is the Pacers. He has their number, signed, sealed, and delivered. He's yours, and of course, you take his game ball with it too.
To set the stage a little bit, and we're going to talk a lot about Giannis, of course, in a game where he set Milwaukee Bucks history. We really have to, but I think the first half especially didn't notice as much. Well, until a certain foul in the second half, but a lot of chirping, an insane amount of chirping from Tyrese Haliburton, who allegedly brought 2,000 people to this game, which I mean maybe is true. That's a lot. That's a ton of people. I mean that might be a record. I mean, maybe if we don't count only in basketball, I'm sure in football, soccer, someone's brought 100,000 people to a game. But 2,000 people to an NBA game is a crazy number.
That's
And
a crazy number.
he was certainly talking like he had 2,000 people there specifically rooting for him every time he got an and one, which was many times in the first half. And to be clear, Halliburton is awesome, and the Bucks didn't have a ton of answers. They didn't have any one-on-one answers for him. The team defense was a big deal. We'll get to that later. But there was an edge to this game. Bobby Portis getting into it with Aaron Naismith, according to the official on the broadcast, the inventor of basketball, the inventor of defense, according to a national TV broadcast during the NBA Cup. Hard foul on Giannis. Bobby and him got into it. Bobby's chirping with Obi Toppin, ends up getting thrown out for a pretty solid. This is why I don't like double technicals. I feel like double technicals shouldn't actually count as a technical because getting thrown out on a double technical sucks. Because double technicals only exist for the refs to be like, everyone calm down, right? That's what it is. Bobby gets tossed on one. Unfortunate, but I think the energy he gave the game really did matter. But of course, the backbone to all of this is doesn't matter who Indiana has out there. I called it the politician defense is what they were playing because it was just hopes and prayers. That's all they sent, and it didn't work. Just like in real life, it turns out. It's not a very effective strategy as Giannis puts up 64 points. But this was just a wonderful game. It was closer than it had to be at the end. I wish the garbage time squad had held up a little bit better, looking at you, Robin Lopez. But that was kind of the scene that then led to this game ball thing, where I guess Indiana may have been mad Giannis stayed out there that long. But like counterpoint, it was a 10-point game with 2 minutes left. You could say he wasn't out there long enough.
Yeah. I would say we want to keep it clean. Tough crap. Tough crap. You didn't do crap defending Giannis all game. This is not this. This is the third time they played
Yeah.
this season.
They have what,
It's too many
more?
times.
2 more within the next month?
2 more times. And guess what? It's gonna get chippier.
Yeah.
It's gonna get chippier than a Lay's potato chip. Okay.
Wow.
No free ads. Sorry.
Well,
but
one free ad.
one free ad.
One free ad.
But yes, like to me, like this is Tyrese Haliburton's family and friends and Oshkosh North or whatever showed up to see Giannis set the Bucks scoring record, and I am more than happy about that. I could not be happier to see that happen against a team that, despite what was said last week on the in-season tournament broadcast, they don't have an answer for him. They don't have anybody of his size. The thing about this is that Miles Turner, once upon a time, was thought of as a defensive player of the year candidate. Like he is. I'm not trying to crap on him, but I will.
He had a nice game offensively.
He's a very good offensive player. He plays really well off of Haliburton. He is like Giannis is relentless at attacking him, and it's not. I understand the point of you need like a perimeter guy to kind of shut off Giannis into the big. That's kind of the MO. It's why we've seen the Heat have such a great strategy, even if Bam Adebayo is a much better defender one-on-one and can defend Giannis both in space and at the rim. But when you don't have that perimeter defender, it's the opposite of what we see at the Bucks defensively. He just gets downhill. He can do it in so many different ways. It's not even like David Giannis are going the pick and roll, even though Buddy Hield is on him for like many possessions. Like they don't care. He can get what he wants one-on-one, and he got the scoring record, and they acted like children.
Well, the thing about identifying the best Giannis defender now, it doesn't really matter. It's just that it doesn't apply. It's a team. It's teams. It's not players anymore. And I think that's why I look at Giannis and I see like the best Giannis we've ever seen. And it's just, I think when people analyze Giannis, they want to look at like, is he shooting jumpers more? Is he hitting threes? Like, is the passing leveled up in a noticeable way? And I think he's gotten a little better with like everything, right? Like his passing's a little better. It's just the control. Like he's so controlled now. I mean, it's so funny to think back at like early star Giannis, and he would get so many offensive fouls. And the difference was, now he's able to perfectly mix his unmatched physicality, and there is no one in the league who is more physical in a dominating way than Giannis, with just the insane body control, the touch around the basket. I mean, the and ones, he was like, he gets called for a foul, and he's stepping around the defender and just lays it perfectly off the glass. I think Lisa Byington on the broadcast, I'm sure unintentionally borrowed an old Rohan and I joke about how he's like doing geometry and trigonometry out there, because it's just like these wild angles where it's just, he makes it look so easy. He's unstoppable. And Miles Turner's a good defender. Doesn't matter. Not even close. Like, that's the crazy part about where Giannis is at right now. It's not that the Pacers have they have one good-ish big defender. That's like laughingly not enough. Like, not even close. Like, you need a great perimeter defender. You need a great help big. You need great defenders helping from the nail. I mean, we can talk about the defenses who have done it in the past. I think it's a lot harder now on this Bucks team and this version of Giannis, but certainly like one player, that's just comedy. I remember in the IST game to get in, Bam Adebayo couldn't guard him one-on-one. That's the best ISO defender in the league. And physically one of the few guys who you could say, oh yeah, he can probably guard Giannis. Giannis is beating him on drives. Like, there's no one player anymore. And the whole Indiana team also couldn't do it. 64 points. The last player to score at least 50, I think, was Giannis also this season. And the last player...
He has the top two scoring performances this year. And guess who it came against?
Indiana.
Guess who it came against? Indiana? Wow!
If we could just get a good Dame game going with this, it would be even more fun. We'll talk about it. Not a horrible Dame game, but not a great one. But it was enough. 64 points. Also, the last player to score 60 in the NBA. Do you know who that is?
I believe it was Damian Lillard.
Twice. Yeah. So a couple of... Yeah, I think 2 in a row.
I wonder who he set that against.
The only 2 games against India. Could you? We'll have to look that up. I don't think so, but that would be amazing. 64 points on 20 of 28 from the field, but 3 threes, and he missed all 3, which it really felt like he was going to hit one to set the record. Even Marcus Johnson on the broadcast commented like, with his flair for the dramatic, I can't believe he didn't knock down that 3. And I was like, I felt the exact same. But 20 of 25 from 2. And 24 of 32 from free throw, which is 75%, which we take that all day. 14 boards, 3 assists, 4 steals, 1 block, just 3 turnovers.
Ridiculous.
Having the ball that much? That is
not
nuts.
now. Not now. Sorry. No, that was, to me, like, he put up 64 points, and defensively, he was working hard.
Oh, man.
Like, his hands this year have been, like, it is
stupendous.
So good. It's stupendous. Like, we talked about, like, how good of a defender he's gone back into being, especially when we all know the Bucks struggles. Way in which he's defending, like, we know the chase down blocks, we know the way that he can just be super long, that it's really hard to shoot the ball over his huge standing reach and all that stuff. The way that he just, like, times his hands to dislodge the ball on any ball handler, especially against the Pacers. I saw it against Bruce Brown. I think I saw it against Haliburton. I saw it definitely against TJ McConnell. That guy, he makes my blood boil. He should not be.
They're telling him they're telling him it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day before every Bucks game, and he must not have a calendar.
No.
For anyone who doesn't know, he had I think his career high against the Bucks on last Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
It's not a random weird racial shot at TJ McConnell. He did
we're
that.
We're not insinuating any of his beliefs or anything like that.
No.
But the thing about the way that he just picks the pocket, and then just how they ran in transition tonight, and of course Giannis, that's where he's at his best, but like he was working hard all over the floor, certainly well after the game, trying to get the last ball, the ball that matters. But yeah, I just thought, again, we will salivate over the 64 points, but the guy has been working really, really hard defensively, and a lot more credit should be given his way that way.
Yeah, I think it's maybe like seen as cliche or too easy to pick a career high when you talk about a player's best games. And to be clear, this is like non-championship run edition. Of course, you can pick some games, especially game 6 in those finals that are the slam dunk, so to speak. But in terms of regular season Giannis, this is one of the best games he's ever played. And not just because of the scoring total. I agree with you, Jordan. I thought defensively he was everywhere. And let's get into this quick, and then we can probably shift back to Giannis. It felt to me like this game was the most realized we've seen Adrian Griffin's vision of the aggressive Bucks defense. And it worked. I mean, Indiana got theirs. I mean, the best offense in the league history, yada, yada. They scored 126, so it's not like they were clamped by any means. But after a red-hot start, Tyrese Haliburton ends with 22 points and 7 assists on 8 for 16 shooting. I mean, Indy pulled the plug first, but he played 30 and a half minutes. It wasn't like he only played 20 minutes. You'll take that. I mean, you'll take that all day against, given what this guy has done to great defenses, triple-double against Boston and, daggered them. So I think the aggression, I want to specifically call out Giannis's effort. Just when teams are dribbling in that middle area of the paint to go find a shooter, he's just not letting them. Like, he's all over it. And even when he doesn't get the steal, you make a guy wait for a second, and then the rotator gets back, and then the defense is set again. And those are like the little things where it's not on the stat sheet, but Giannis makes a guy hesitate for a second. Suddenly the defenders are back in place, and there's not a wide open shot or a path to the rim. I want to call out Damian Lillard on the defensive end, who brought it. I mean, a slow start for, I think, every Buck in this game, except for like Brook Lopez in the first 4 or 5 minutes. But Dame was working on defense. And I'm going to guess, and we'll probably get quotes on this at some point, I'm going to guess asked for the Haliburton assignment. I saw him on Haliburton a lot in the half court.
And it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. He was digging down. Like, Marcus Johnson was talking plenty about how you look at advanced metrics or cleaning the glass figures or NBA.com stats stuff, Dame has been pretty good defensively, like better than what his reputation is and everything like that. And tonight, I thought they did really, really well with Haliburton. We saw doubling, we saw trapping, we saw really good one-on-one play with whether it was Dame or if it was Giannis switched out on him. There was just, yes, Indiana finished with 126 points. That is going to happen when they're playing a really fast game, everything like that. The way in which Tyrese Haliburton was shut down and throwing different defensive looks at him was easily the best the Bucks have defending him this year. And, that's where you just played this team last week. That's where it gave the feel of a playoff adjustment, in series adjustment kind of thing that was really intriguing to see. And not for nothing, I mean, we talked about Damian Lillard. Andre Jackson Jr. saw plenty of run on him, got into foul trouble, obviously, but I just thought the youthful energy of him and Marjan Beauchamp, that's where the game really got interesting. That's where we saw the kind of Giannis, Bobby, Marjan, Andre Jackson Jr., and I'm forgetting if it was like campaign or another ball handler. That's where the game really got going. That's where we saw the Bucks, I would say, at their best of just combining all of this ball pressure and defensive ferocity that we haven't seen much of this year into just that is how they want to play. You see the glimpses of it. You see the potential of it. And whether we see that more realized as the year goes on, who knows? But when you see those two players in particular combined with Giannis, Bobby, say Chris is out there, or Cam, that's where this team could be heading. And that's really exciting for me, is just like, we know how that will work offensively, but defensively, like they have certainly been missing that when they've obviously been without Jay Crowder and Pat Connaughton, but just seeing those guys, the rookies and second year player pop like that was just really exciting for me.
I keep calling him a rookie too. I think their best lineup maybe in the whole game was Dame, Marjan, Andre Jackson, Bobby, Giannis, because they had the quickness to play whatever defense they wanted, but with Bobby out there, you still have the size. And that's why I think Crowder is a big missing factor in this game, because you swap out Bobby for Crowder, I think you can still rebound at least well enough. I mean, Crowder's a good rebounder. He's a big body. And then it's like your defensive potential is really crazy with those three in between. I mean, Giannis too, but like just those three wings between Giannis and Dame. And of course, that's the nice thing about Dame is you have, I'll ask what you're laughing about in a second.
Yeah, like, sorry.
Theoretically, when he's on, any lineup with Giannis and Dame will find a way to be good enough offensively. I think that group there's some good cuts in this game, some good off-ball movement from multiple players. But what's the newest development? I saw someone ask in the YouTube chat real quick.
Yes.
The Pacers made off with the game ball. Giannis and a contingent of Bucks were upset. So I'm hoping we're finding out about this. And if you're watching on YouTube Live right now, please give us a thumbs up. Help the algorithm find more Bucks fans to tune in here. But go ahead, Jordan.
So I've seen a lot of post-game comments. Rick Carlisle saying that it was an unfortunate incident. The Pacers general manager got bruised in the ribs. So sorry, Chad Buchanan.
What?
So sorry. Yes.
From what?
Probably Giannis running, like me trying to catch my dog.
Oh my God.
She gets loose. Chris Hayes just tweeted, BR Bleacher Report sources, initial explanation from one member of Pacers to Bucks players as to why they took the game ball from Giannis Antetokounmpo. They wanted to give it to a rookie who scored his first career basket. Oscar Tshiebwe was the only rookie to register his first point. He made one free throw. So this is officially not about Giannis breaking the Bucks scoring record. This is about Oscar
the Big O.
Tshiebwe.
The Big O.
Scoring his first point.
Huge
so
update.
Join us. Huge update.
From Chris Haynes. No, another one. Buck security was able to retrieve the game ball for Giannis Antetokounmpo, sources say. I love the live text between presumably Dame and Chris Haynes. Just, no, don't worry, we got the ball.
Yeah.
What a what a night. I thought we had enough fracas already during the game. I was getting ready to start this podcast, and Jordan alerted me to what was going on after the game, even more. Hopefully, everyone is settled and safe, and no executives were seriously injured in the making of this historic Bucks evening. Any other thoughts on Giannis here, Jordan? Obviously, so much has changed this season. Giannis has been one of, if the Bucks' big constant, and I mean, just a remarkable night. And I love that they let him in, let him stay in, and he got to do it. Given everything going on, got to do it in this game specifically.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I know it's sportsmanship. It's you want to keep things cordial. Nope. Fans are off. This is a rivalry. Bucks Pacers has never really been a rivalry. Outside, they have played in the playoffs in somewhat recent memory, this century at least. But let's get going. Tyrese, he flashed the Dame time celebration in Las Vegas last week. I took notes. We all took notes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of consternation after the game. It feeds into each other. And given how this game was, it was very chippy. It was like a 3-hour game. It was an NFL game. It was super long. Get it together, Chip Skylark, and your shiny teeth.
I think there were 8 techs and a flag.
And if the Giannis practice would have been during the game, good Lord, people would have been thrown out. I like this. And I'm not surprised that, again, Giannis breaking the record, it's not surprising that happening against
It's
Pacers.
Doubly not.
But it's also not a surprise that they went for it against the
Yes,
Pacers.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's doubly not. Like the matchup was right and the occasion was like, we're sick of you guys. And I think that was very apparent. I love the toughness that the Bucks showed, and I do think they needed this kind of jolt. I think it's good, ultimately, that they've had this kind of thing brewing with Indiana. Obviously, I would have preferred if they had beat them in the in-season cup and gone to play the Lakers. That would have been better. I'm not saying it was good that they lost, but I think long-term, this will play a positive role, and just like teams kind of need that defining moment. And I don't know if the Bucks really had one this season. I mean, they beat the Knicks. It was a great win, but it wasn't like the group came through and like resolved. I mean, they've got a lot of clutch wins, but it's like, okay, we outlasted the Bulls. Great. Fine.
I would have, like it probably would have been the Knicks in-season tournament run just because like that is the offense like at clicking on all cylinders. The Hawks game before that really kind of stood out for me, just the way that they
a complete win.
Yeah, and they turned it on late, even as the Hawks were kind of matching them toe for toe. Especially with Trae Young saying that if he didn't get hurt, they would have gone to the finals.
I love PJ getting on there.
That's our next target here. Okay,
I don't think they're even worth it, man. I mean, they're like 9-13. Like
I think they lost tonight too. So they're
9-14 maybe. Oof. I always thought they'd be around 500 forever. I'm pretty surprised at this.
They certainly have some bargain with the devil where they had to be around 500.
But now this is like I think this is the farthest they've been away from 500 for like 3 years or something. It's pretty wild.
They'll get back there. They'll get back there.
I believe.
But this was definitely like the most definitive win. And I know people will probably say, well, they had to put the starters in.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like that is part of the deed. Like you have to. We saw this last year. Remember that Raptors game?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody flipped out of like that was another just like that cannot happen. You are supposed to finish out games, yada yada yada. I understand that. Coach Griff did not want that to happen.
No, and he kept him in longer too, and it still almost happened.
Exactly, and if not for that, we wouldn't have had all of everything else that unfolded.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Jordan Nwora, Jarris Walker, and Ben Shepherd combined to shoot 4 for 6 from 3 in their 6 minutes of action, which is what kind of blew the game sort of back open until Griffin again was just like, no, we're not doing. Giannis, go back in there and keep scoring, and he was glad to oblige. Yeah, I think overall I thought it was a pretty good game from Adrian Griffin. I liked the varied defenses. I had to laugh at KOC's piece about like they don't try anything against Tyrese Haliburton. I think they've played 4 or 5 different coverages in a week against the Pacers. Like they've tried everything.
Yeah.
Nothing works. And like Andre Jackson Jr. and Marjan had pretty good defensive games overall. He dunked on both of them, 1-on-1. Like they weren't stopping him with any individual player. They tried zone. They tried a combined man zone that Marcus was talking about on the broadcast. They did like almost a box and one thing. They dropped. They switched. He beat almost everything. The best was just, I think you can't drop against him. I mean, Brooke is just has a tough time in this on both ends really in this matchup. But everything but the drop, when they just like gummed up the middle of the floor, take away driving lanes, recover, pressure the ball, that worked the best. Oh, I think I missed or got distracted when I was talking about defense earlier. I wanted to shout out Bobby Portis. I love the way he traps, and I think you see the difference when he's out there. What you're supposed to do when you trap a ball handler versus sometimes they send like those weak traps or weak doubles. It's easy to pass over. It is hard to pass over a stampeding Bobby Portis. And he runs guys, he's going to get a backcourt violation one of these days. I mean, he runs guys way back away from the play.
Big Bob on the ass.
And I love the physicality. I love when he got right after Nesmith, after the hard foul on Giannis. I was like, yes, this is what you have to do. I got bemoaned by some Cavs fan friends for saying they're going to lose in the first round again. Because I don't know if you saw this. Caleb Martin, like either blocks or dunks, I think he blocked fouled Darius Garland. Stares him down, steps him over. Play just goes on. I was like, that? No. If someone did that to Giannis, no. The game's going to stop for a minute. Just like you saw in this one. That wasn't as bad as that. But you just have to, and I'm not saying there should be fights. I'm not saying there should be violence. I am saying a team has to step up for a star player. They just do.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's the way that the Bucks played this game, and how we talked about like it's a defense thing. It's the physicality stuff. How we talked about this defense of just like you just see guys blow by their defenders. It's the path of least resistance, and there's no force kind of chipping back at them. Tonight was like. Yeah, the Pacers, again, they scored a lot of points. They had to work hard for a lot of them. They hit shots that they didn't hit last week. It is the game. It's a make-or-miss league. But I liked how the Bucks kind of they played within themselves. And then, of course, when that foul happened with Nesmith, I always go Nesmith. It was just a crazy like reaction. I totally understand that he didn't mean to do it, but at the same time, that is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Bobby Portis knew. He knew like a looper situation that team was going to steal his game ball, and he wanted nothing of it. Get out of here, Aaron. So anyway, I just thought it was I thought they played really well before things kind of went out of hand clearly in the second half, third quarter. And this is what we're going to see. This is what happens with the rivalry game. Yeah, the Pacers, yeah, you're a fun story. Tyrese Haliburton's going to be an all-star. He's going to be, if the Pacers keep this up, Tyrese Haliburton's going to be talked about as an MVP candidate. Put it all together. Do you have the heart of a champion? You don't. You lost the NBA Cup. You haven't even been, Tyrese Haliburton hasn't even been to the playoffs. Just saying. Long way until the Bucks play the Pacers in 2 weeks.
If we had to rank the Central Division rivalries right now, Pacers Bulls to start.
Bulls always has some kind of juice just because it's the Bulls fans travel well.
Yeah, but like this year, you're looking at. I don't even know if they play the Bulls again. They played them so many times. But you're looking at the next game against the Pacers as way more compelling than their next game against the Bulls.
The Pistons fans, we might not even see who
Dude,
comes
that
because they're all
game
wearing.
scares me. That's the
They're all.
scariest game of the
I
year.
know it's
We
very.
talked about
It's
this
a
on Threads. That's the scariest
yes.
game of the year.
It's the scariest game of the year. The Pistons lost yet again, 21 straight. All the Pistons fans that will come to Milwaukee, not to crap on you, God help you with your life choices. You better be showing up with paper bags on your head because
Yeah.
it is bad.
I think they
It
set a
is so
franchise
bad.
record tonight, which I
Of
couldn't believe the
losses.
Pistons had consecutive losses that many before. Yeah, like 1980, I think.
I could see it. I mean, they're pretty bad
I guess
for a
probably had to
couple.
set up the bad boys there.
Set the Bad Boys, Grant Hill era.
Yeah.
I mean, the last 10 years, Tom Gores,
Yeah, but it
they're
wasn't
really
in this. It
bad.
wasn't in this era, which kind of I guess they've been mostly
That
middling until the last like 5 or so. But
yeah.
yeah, I would say Pacers right now is the most juiced. Bulls I think is always like around top two. Really, the other three are like, eh. Or the
Yeah,
other two,
Cavs
the
will
other
be
two. No, the other three. No, two. The Bucks are in the division. The other two. Yeah, Cavs are
Cavs will
just
be
there.
well, also we haven't seen them yet.
Yeah,
That might change when games play.
it might,
And
but recent memory, I feel like. I mean, even when they dusted the Brandon Jennings Bucks, I feel like it wasn't a rivalry. You know, it was like,
there was the kind of brief like LeBron kind of, oh, this is the next up and
oh
coming
yeah,
team.
yeah,
But that was nothing. It
no,
turned out to be a fart in the wind.
yeah, because like there
Um,
wasn't, it wasn't a true like the Bucks weren't coming for the Cavs that year. Giannis was coming
yeah,
for LeBron like a
in
year or
that
two down the road.
situation, the Bucks weren't stealing LeBron's game ball.
LeBron must have like 50 plus game balls.
Oh, this year alone.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
He
he
probably got
is setting a
50
new record
last
every game.
Saturday with the in-season tournament.
Oh yeah, hang the banner. I'm not even calling that. They should hang a banner.
They should hang the
Um,
banner. So should the Pacers for stealing a game ball, like losers.
but they didn't hold on to it. Just
They
like
did it,
that.
but it's the mere thought. I saw you, Bruce Brown, look at the Bucks bench
He was in
with
the
your
game for a
steely
really long
eyes.
time, by the way.
He was. They kept saying the stars are out. I was like, Bruce Brown's right there. I guess that's how you feel about him, Marcus.
Somehow he only had 27 minutes in this game. And nothing about this game makes sense except the Giannis part.
No. Yeah.
All right, let's buzz through some other Bucks player analysis here. Actually, I think I brought up the toughness thing. I want your take on Bobby and the trapping and what he's been able to do with that.
I really like Bobby's game. I thought maybe probably the best game of the year. Well, certainly in some time for him. Defensively, I agree with you. The way that he traps, the way that he moves his feet, like when he has it going, it did like that one play did feel like he's gonna force a backcourt violation,
It's like a
which would
step
be
in front of it.
incredible.
Yeah.
And it's why he is a flawed defensive player, but when you see him play like that, it's the Daniel Craig gift from Knives Out. It's like I find it very compelling. I don't know why, but I just see him move with this. He's like a ballet dancer out there. He's just light on his feet, and he is just so big too that you can't really go around him. That like in a very just like pick your through the defense kind of way. Like
And he's had good hands on those too. When guys have tried to, he'll poke the ball out. He doesn't always get the steal, but like he's played those very well. And you saw one went bad. I don't think it was his fault. Campaign, just like horrible campaign game. Just got caught. We'll do stocks later. Well, it'll be represented. Trust me. Got caught in no man's land. Like he went to go cover the big and then tried to come back to cover the guard again, which is what you cannot do in that situation. And the Pacers and Adrian Griffin was fired up about it. But I've always thought Bobby is like, not a great defensive player, we'll say, but like could never drop. And I think sometimes would fade out of Bud's favor entirely for that reason. But like when they switched, I was like, yeah, okay. I mean, guys hit shots over him. He's not clamping you, but he can switch respectably. I think he's even better at trapping than switching. And I think that's really important and kind of, works out that he and Brook do kind of opposite things defensively, that you can go from one to the other. That's why, trade season's heating up. We'll talk about a bunch of rumors and fake trades and all this stuff. it's tough to envision getting a big who fits right to bring back if you send Bobby out. And he's had some tough times. There's always appealing, sexy names out there, but man, what he's been able to do in this game was huge. I know it hasn't been consistent for him lately. Hopefully, he can build on this and keep it going. Let's talk about Damian Lillard. I just want to hand the floor to you. I want your thoughts. We talked about the defense, which was impressive, but would love to hear your thoughts on just kind of Dame's offensive struggles lately. I mean, he was 21 points on 6 of 14 shooting in this one, which is better than the last two games. But what are your thoughts when you watch Dame lately?
I really like the way that he penetrates the defense. Like, that's obviously the go-to. It's his shot as comes and goes. The way that it's a complicated situation because obviously when Giannis is playing so well, he's scoring at will, he's doing so really efficiently. There is that kind of like, okay, do I kind of pull back, let the game operate? How do I orchestrate everything and then get what I want, kind of thing? I think that's honestly the biggest struggle that Dame will have as he continues adjusting to this kind of role, along with his shot will come and go and everything like that. But I thought his ability to get within the defense or the heart of the defense, get down the lane again. It wasn't just that Miles Turner was struggling against Giannis. Dame had some really good timed layups around guys like Miles Turner, Isaiah Jackson. Like, I know he's kind of a young center, but really long, really tall. It's not easy for someone like Dame at his size to score around them and everything like that. I thought there was encouraging things from that, and that's obviously only going to get harder when we're talking about playoff type opponents. Indiana's in that category for me this year, at least. Again, everything's going to depend on him hitting threes, but the overall kind of way that the offense is working in terms of just his ability to get within basically inside the arc, I thought was really, it was there. He's getting the free throw line. The back-to-back turnovers when things kind of look shaky in the third,
Yeah, that was
not
bad.
great, especially TJ McConnell, again, blood pressure
Pacer pest
boiling. Pacer pass. Reggie Miller said it best. I did
for
not mean for that
once.
to rhyme. Yeah. But yeah, I thought Dave was going to have those kind of nights. I mean, he was 2 for 8, but him getting the line as much as he did, kind of made up for it. It just cleaned up those turnovers in the way that bogs up the offense that way.
Yeah, I think it's been interesting to me. I mean, obviously, it's going to just be everything's going to be easier for him and for the Bucks when the threes start falling again, and I have no doubt they will. I mean, it's guys have slumps. He's a notorious slow starter anyway, but I just imagine there's going to be like a 6 for 8 game coming soon where it's just like, oh, this is easy again for everyone because the offense is now gone from very good. I mean, it was elite tonight. They shot 25.9% from three in this game and scored 140 points in regulation. It helps when Giannis drops 64 of them, but I mean, still the other players on the team put up theirs as well. But I think the interior struggles are a little bit. I mean, teams are playing him very physically. He's not getting the whistle he's looking for. He did take 9 free throws in this game and made 7, which is actually uncharacteristically bad for Dame. We said 75% good for Giannis, 77.8 not great for Dame. But I think the paint is just a little more crowded than he's probably used to with Giannis and Brooke and Bobby operating down there. It's probably an adjustment, when the shot isn't falling, when he's trying to go to his twos. He's had a lot of traffic. Like there was one possession where he missed a layup that Giannis kind of cut at the same time, and the paint was just so crowded. And I like to see, like, at one point, Giannis called for Dame to screen for him. They screened for each other a bit, but they didn't go to it a bunch. I think part of that is something I talked about in the last Euro step from yesterday now, of the Pacers just crowded that possession and were like, okay, make the right pass out to, Brook Lopez, and we'll let him shoot. And it seemed like Giannis tonight was just like, no, we're not. I'm just going to go put it in the basket again, to be honest. And you're going to have to stop that. And the Pacers
We're not going to see
really
Brick
couldn't.
go 3 for 10 for 3 tonight.
0 for
It's
2
it's
instead. 1 for 6 from the
yeah.
field. A rough game for Brookie Cookie. He had 6 blocks, some nice blocks around the rim. But yeah, certainly not Dame's best game. I think offensively was a little better aside from the turnovers. Defensively, again, was great. I think it's something to build upon. And again, like it's just wild to me. Brook is 1 for 6. Dame is 6 for 14. The Bucks as a team 7 for 27 from three, and they put up 140. I know Indiana can't defend it all, but still, goodness.
This is from ESPN Stats and Info. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 64 points, came on only 28 field goal attempts. It's the most points with fewer than 30 field goal attempts in a game in NBA history. That's remarkable.
That good?
It's very good. It's very good. The Pacers seem to disagree. Okay, that's the last joke that I'll have in like 5 minutes. But
Like 5 minutes.
It's crazy. His free throw line is a stat line in a game. He went 24 for 32. Like that is what Jordan Love will hopefully throw against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday.
Listen to Talk of the Tundra. Oh,
there we go. I didn't mean for that. But that's crazy.
GSPN.info. That is. We're going to do stocks in a minute. We'll talk about more players on the team. A quote from Cameron Payne per Eric Dame of The Athletic. Man wanted that ball. I'm following my team, helping my teammate out. It was just a lot of commotion, honestly. He just wanted his ball, man. It's very relatable. Oh, I want to talk about the Giannis free throws. Because people will point out, non-Bucks fans, what are you talking about? Bucks get a bad whistle. Look at all these free throws. I think early the Pacers had a soft whistle. I'm not obviously going to say it was a horrible whistle in the game where Giannis did get to the line this many times. You find me a possession where he just like is going for the whistle. I think maybe one where he threw a shot up because he knew he was getting pulled and he threw a shot up at the rim. That would be 2 of the 32 free throws. The rest of these, he's going to the rim and getting fouled. Like there is a reason I will criticize a player, Joel Embiid, who is what I would call a grifter, a free throw merchant, a disrespecter of the game, some might say, me, but not Giannis, because watch the game. Like Giannis is not getting his arm wrapped up and throwing his head back and flailing his arms around. He has a singular focus to get to the rim and put the basketball in there, and guys foul him because no one can defend him, and then he gets to shoot free throws. You think he wants to shoot free throws? No, he wants to dunk. That's what he wants to do every time. And I just think that's like, we shouldn't have to say it, but I'm just going to say it because like, I don't care what the raw numbers are. That man is not grifting. He is dominating. And that was on display.
Yeah. Yeah. There was definitely Bruce Brown. He's kind of caught in no man's land. Giannis is running downhill and he just grabs his arm. Actually, I think this was possibly for the record for 58 points.
Oh,
the way that Giannis could have easily scored through him, but Bruce Brown is like physically grabbing his arm. It's again speaks to the caliber of defenders or what they have to do to defend Giannis. But it's an exaggeration of what he sees every night.
Yeah.
Like against a team that is porous defensively. Like Pacers, they are a feel-good story. They are kind of the up-and-coming team. Their defense is atrocious. Like they're not good. And for as much as like this talk about the Bucks and where they stand, Pacers have the best offense, and they easily have probably one of the 3 worst defenses in the league. And it shows. So that's where Giannis can just make mincemeat of teams like that, where they don't have an answer for him. They can throw bodies at him. It does not matter. He's hitting a new level with his scoring ability that I thought he couldn't top after last year. And then the Bucks went out and traded for Damian Lillard, and Giannis is making even more leaps that way.
Yes, that is well said. The Pacers dropped to 6th in the East. The Bucks sole possession of 2nd, now half a game ahead of Orlando. So if Orlando wins tomorrow, it'll be 3rd again. But for now, move up to 2nd place. We're going to do Bucks stock market. But first, Jordan, I want to talk to you and all our listeners about Sleeper, the Sleeper app. The NBA season is in full swing which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy basketball. Basketball has never been more exciting than it is now, with stars like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Damian Lillard, Malik Beasley, Andre Jackson Jr., and more. Maybe I altered this copy a little bit, who can say? Pick more or less on stats for these stars like points, rebounds, three-pointers, steals, double-doubles, and more for up to a 100 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right, and you could win big. Use promo code EUROSTEP, all one word, GYROSTEP. It's on the screen if you're watching on YouTube. You'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Can you believe they're all over the Andre Jackson Jr.? I mean, the marketing department over there is
it's wonderful. We have an update.
Oh,
we
an
have
update.
An update.
Good.
This is crucial.
Okay.
So Oscar Shibwe.
I think it's. I don't know if it's Shibwe or Toshibwe. It's one of those two.
Let's go with that. I apologize if I'm butchering your name. I don't mean to. You really set a wonderful record by scoring your first point. The reason why it's his first point tonight and not Saturday was because they don't count the in-season tournament stats. So NBA, this is on you. This is on you for doing this the way that you did. And yeah, if we have one culprit, it's Adam Silver.
Chad Buchanan could have died.
He could have died. He could have killed him.
He could have killed him.
Judd Apatow voice.
This situation, it's only going to get more. You just know that tomorrow morning, the Stephen A's of the world are going to be just, this whole situation is just going to be ridiculous.
Especially on a night where Draymond Green got suspended indefinitely.
They're gonna say, is there going to be an indefinite suspension?
Does the NBA have a fighting
a violence problem?
Violence problem? Yeah.
Who can say? Well, first question for you, Jordan. How many upstocks for Giannis Antetokounmpo? I think a bit of a loaded question here. I have a number in my head, but what are you thinking of?
I would say 4.
I was thinking 3.
You think? I mean, 3 is the obvious.
I think that is 3, like a record.
It has to be, but also, again, it's not just about setting the record. He got 64 points. He did really efficiently. He hit probably a career high in free throws in a game, I would assume. 24 is a lot. Defensively, he was lock and key.
I started a poll. Let's let the YouTube chat answer. We got 110 people in here. Shout out to you. How many Giannis upstocks? 3 or 4? If you're not familiar, I guess I can outline here. If you've never listened or watched before, please subscribe. We'd love to have you back. Bucks stock market after every single Milwaukee Bucks game. We give a stock report, players whose stock moved up and down, just the players who we feel like changed our perception of them throughout the season. So obviously, not everyone gets to change every game, but Giannis is going to go up quite a bit. So 3 or 4. John in the chat says 5. Let's see how many more 5s come in. But for now, 4 is winning early. We'll revisit this after some more votes come in.
Okay.
No movement on Damian Lillard, I would think.
No.
He got a double down last game. I think the defense was good enough this game that you wouldn't go down, but certainly not an upstock game from him.
Yeah.
Chris Middleton. We're, as a society, we are past Chris Middleton having to dribble against like aggressive defense or doubles, or we don't need this anymore.
No, I don't think he had any other choice but to try to dribble that out that was the end of the half, right?
Yeah, just throw it at the rim.
Yeah, at that point, just let it peter out.
Yeah,
kind of thing,
or just hold it. Yeah.
I will say, I thought he did really well tonight. We saw the Giannis passes, whether it was a sideline lob. He had another filthy alley-oop, that was perfect kind of thing. He had some shots. 14, 9, and 7 is not bad for 29 minutes.
Yeah,
And
the rebounding has, I think he's taken that upon himself after that Pacers loss. Last game, I think he had a big rebounding total. 9 in this one. He's been flying in. 7 assists is nice.
I'll take that. Yeah.
I mean,
I
that one play was horrible, but you look at it, that was his only turnover. You look at everything else in the
That
game,
is true. Yeah.
and he had a very solid game.
I would do a tentative up. I could, I would be very convinced of a push, but I would do a tentative up.
Let's call it the informal half. So if he
Half.
has another game like this, we'll do an up. The defense, again, just not ideal.
No.
Does Brook Lopez dodge the downstock with all the blocks? I do think his timing was great defense. I mean, Halliburton's so much made about a lot of his game. The assist to turnovers for sure. The touch he has on those runners is absurd. Like to put it over Brook, I don't think Brook's ever gotten him. It's absurd. Just a side note. I know we hate Tyrese Haliburton now in Bucks fandom. He's a great player.
He's very
too.
good.
Yeah.
He'll never be a Milwaukee Buck on my watch.
I'm still open
Never.
to this, Tyrese. If you want to,
You let tonight happen, Tyrese.
in 8 years when Dame is ready to head off somewhere else, Tyrese hit us up. Jordan will forget by then. No, he won't forget. He'll forgive. Never forgets.
I'll forgive. Never forget.
Push for Brook Lopez.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, John meant give Oscar the 5 up stocks. That makes sense. We'll get to him later.
Oh, yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Pat Connaughton still out. Bobby Portis. We talked about the defense. We talked about the heart. Also contributed 19 points on 8 for 13 from the field, 3 for 4 from deep, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, no turnovers.
He was. It's a shame that he didn't finish out the game because he was really clicking.
Yeah.
And I thought that was another reason why. I think he actually matched his season high too.
I mean, maybe 2 up stocks here. I mean, both ends. He had dropped to 17, which was 2 below Beasley. So if he gets 2 up here, he's matching Beasley again. I want your sincere input on that, but I thought both ends, this was the best we've seen him all season. I think pretty comfortably.
Yeah, and again, the bench.
Yes,
they did get. They did sit because they weren't scoring points to elevate the lead before the Pacers brought it down to 10 points. So Bobby was missed in that regard too. So I wouldn't. Again, I'd be up for 2 points.
This is a crucial stat. I mean, I know no one loves single game plus minus, but to see the Bucks plus 16 in Bobby's minutes is a big deal. After a lot of, Bobby comes in for Giannis, everything falls apart had kind of been what had been happening. Credit to him. I think he played great. And it's 2 because it's a 2-way game, I thought, for him. Malik Beasley, it's fine.
Quiet.
Yeah.
It's certainly, like, on the scale of quiet Malik Beasley games, I thought it was a good quiet Malik Beasley game.
100%.
But yeah.
Good 2-point scoring. Had 2 steals and a block. Just a nice game.
Defensively.
Yeah. The heart was just there. I mean, the effort defensively, it was great to see. Let's see more of it. Let's get Jay Crowder back and Pat Connaughton to make things easier. Marcus called Pat one of the best system defenders on the team. I was like, oh, I would agree. The way he rotates to the rim has been pleasant this year. Marjan or Andre Jackson Jr.?
Ooh.
Everyone always wants the upstock for these guys. They don't play very much.
No.
And, I mean, Marjan was 3 for 4. He finished in transition, which was nice.
He had 3 turnovers, which seems, I don't.
I would like to. I think the NBA lets you. I might watch through those later and see what those came on.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like it was a 3 turnover game for him.
There was definitely one in transition, but I don't remember him giving 3.
Was that the one where he threw it to Ajax? Kind of lost it going up by the rim, or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
That's the only one I remember offhand.
Yeah. I don't think I would give. I think a push for both.
Yeah,
Jackson,
I agree.
His defense was really good, but also got in foul trouble. Didn't really contribute much in the way of scoring. Had that amazing assist, like Giannis really was feeling himself throwing up that oop to Andre Jackson Jr. when he's not
Yeah.
ready for it. And Andre Jackson like threw a bullet to Damian Lillard in traffic. Like it was a very tight window that got to Dame, and he hits the three. It was that was such a good sequence. But yeah, I don't think enough to kind of sway an upside for me.
Oh no, we have another update from Eric Dame. My understanding is that Danny Carter, Buck security guard, grabbed the game ball right after the game, as shown in a video. But as the game ended, the Bucks saw the Pacers leaving with a ball that was the reserve game ball, but they thought it was the game ball.
Hmm.
This situation could not get any dumber, but it's finding ways.
This is like,
You don't ever take the reserve game ball when Giannis makes history. Oscar doesn't get either.
yeah, this is why. I mean, I'll crap on the website for now and to the end of time, but this is why Twitter is good at these moments. It was good way back when in the locker room fight between the Clippers
Oh my
and the
God.
Rockets, where it's like,
The
what's
best,
going on?
the best inside the NBA moment ever.
Oh, absolutely. And now the Bucks are part of a lore. This is great lore right now.
I mean, I need like a 4,000 word feature on which ball is the real ball and what actually. I have a lot more questions, but we have one more stock to settle, Jordan. Well, I think one. Cameron Payne.
Now,
The question is it two? Is the question. 0 for 4, 2 threes, 2 twos, 1 for 2 from free throw. Did have 4 assists, but 1 turnover, 1 foul. Again, they turned the ball over trying to inbound to him, which I don't know if that's necessarily all on him, but also just like grab it.
I don't know.
It was really bad.
Cam is going through it. It's his turn of the Bucks bench players to go through it. Really questionable shot selection on like a runner.
Oh yeah,
Especially
early
when
in the shot clock.
Early in the shot clock. It was third quarter, and that's when things were getting tight. TJ McConnell was doing his little
He's pesting.
And campaign threw up that. I was like, that is not the time.
Even the broadcast, I think Lisa was like, "That's not the shot you're looking for there, is it?" Marcus is like, "No."
Nope. So yeah, down. Hopefully Cam gets it together sooner rather than later.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna say 1. It was close to 2. It's an informal 1.5. I mean, this was a very bad game.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I'm thinking overall, no movement for Adrian Griffin here. I thought it was a pretty well coached game. I thought he rode with Cam too much though, which was not ideal. Also, though, again, as we've talked about in other contexts, we got kind of running out of options, especially after Bobby got tossed. Just like guys who can play with Ajax in foul trouble and Marjan had some turnovers and everything. But I don't think it was a movement game, but I thought it was another pretty well coached game, and I continue to be, as well as just seeing the vision of the aggressive defense, really excited for come playoff time, this being a team that can shift between like 4 different schemes to match opponents and be more adaptive on that end.
That's the thing. I think it's gonna take time, but tonight you will be left remembering the end of the game, Giannis setting the scoring record, but the defense for me is we have like extended stretches of like, oh, here we go kind of thing. And the more that Jackson Jr. and Marjan kind of hone their athleticism and kind of gain more discipline in how they defend guys like Tyrese Haliburton, because that's the yardstick of, can you guard against someone like that? Like, this honestly could be a first round kind of matchup that we see.
I really hope not. I really hope not.
I would hope not too. I
Exhausting.
It would be very exhausting, but I would not be surprised. Like, where is Indiana right now?
They're 6th.
13.
So they're a little too good, but they're right on the play. Actually, they're not. I guess the Bucks are only in 2nd. So yeah, we're right around there now.
Yeah, I guess he's 6th right now. Actually, the Pacers are 5th. The 6th seed is Miami.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. So let's avoid that one. uh,
I guess NBA standings official has Miami 7. They are the same games back, but Miami has a worse winning percentage because they've played more. So they're 14
oh,
and 10 versus 13 and 9.
okay.
But still, I mean, it's them, the Knicks, and the Pacers are all knotted right there. The Nets, only half a game back. Your Brooklyn Nets, and the Cavs, another half game back of them. What's going on?
I don't know. That team is really disappointing. Really disappointing. They should have the answers. I think they might if they get a different coach.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I've
yeah.
I've been priming the Cavs buddies I mentioned earlier. That is like the most obvious Budenholzer spot you could draw up.
Yes. Because you have Evan Mobley as the Giannis kind of
And
archetype,
Allen
and
is the
Allen.
Brook. I mean, doesn't shoot. That's the issue. I mean, offensively, that is an issue for them. But I
Yes.
mean, the defensive things they could do, and I think offensively having more of a system. The thing is like, are they gonna have time with all this Donovan Mitchell noise? And it's a weird situation. But it's funny to me though, all of the like, oh, the Bucks are this disappointing team in the East. The Cavs were supposed to like be a top 3 seed in the conference, and they were a little banged up to start the year. Newsflash, everyone has been, and they
Yeah.
are 8th right now. Like that's the
That's
disappointing
not
team in the
good.
East so far.
Yeah. With a
Anyway,
bullet.
anyway, 4 upstocks is up 30% over 3 upstocks. So, and I believe someone cleverly put in chat 4 for 64 points. So I've marked it in the sheet. 4 upstocks for Giannis Antetokounmpo as he sets his career and the Bucks all-time single game scoring record. Shout out to Michael Redd. Shout out to Damian Lillard, who became I think 4th all-time and made threes. Really kind of got his night overshadowed by
Oh,
Giannis
fifth.
there. 5th, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Reggie Miller, Ray Allen,
Steph.
Steph. Who am I? Are you sure it's not 4th? Is it?
I thought
Am
he
I
was going
forgetting
into
someone?
fifth. What do you see?
Researching
Is it
live
Clay?
here. I don't think so. I think he's missed too much time. I couldn't believe how far Steph was ahead of Dame. Like 1,000 threes. I mean, obviously I know about Steph, but
James Harden.
oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, we want to conveniently forget about that.
I think Dame has an outside chance of moving to 4th this year. It's like 110 back. It would be tough. Doable for him, but tough. We'll see. He'll do it as a Buck, which will be very, very exciting. But Jordan, any last thoughts besides more theories about the game balls from Bucks Pacers tonight as Giannis sets history or makes history?
I just want to thank Giannis for finally breaking this record. It's easily the biggest one that was left that he did not have. And he had come very close multiple times, even this year, to break that record. I've been waiting for this day. I didn't get to see him break the Kareem's all-time scoring record live, and it is one of the biggest regrets
Oh,
of my
yeah.
life.
Oh, all time Harlan on the call, too, with one stroke.
Oh, yes. With one stroke, you can steal a game ball like a Pacers staffer. Think of Chad Buchanan. Keep him in your thoughts.
Thoughts and
And
prayers.
prayers to
Thoughts and prayers.
Chad Buchanan. Yeah, I'm very happy that Giannis sealed the deal here. Pacers Bucks rivalry, book it. Hopefully it's not a playoff matchup, but it certainly is amping up to a playoff atmosphere with every time that they play them. And we'll see them in a couple of weeks.
We got words from Giannis. We are just getting warmed up. 2 flex emojis, a picture of him dunking, and then hashtag yum yum sauce. It was a yummy game.
It was a very yummy game.
I feel like this is the most out of the loop I've been on a Giannis post, maybe ever, but I'm okay with it.
I mean, I think that's his new thing.
Okay, sure, I'm with it. He's done miracles for us. I don't care what the hashtag is.
Yeah, we won't question.
I was like, unseen freaky hours, a little wordy, but
little word.
all right, Giannis, sure, we'll go with it.
Yum Yum Sauce hits the word count.
Yeah.
it sticks in your mind.
He does
You
love.
eat it?
He does love like an order. I
Yes,
mean,
he
like the
does.
Chick-fil-A, the signature. No free ads
Chick-fil-A,
except that one.
his drink,
Yep, which is also
half
there.
Sprite, half lemonade. He likes those things.
Yeah, is it double ice
He's
or no ice? I think it's double ice. Now I can't remember. I always get that part wrong. Anyway,
yeah.
Yum Yum is good. Ian in the chat says Yum Yum. I agree. Everyone, thank you for watching. Now we're talking about Yum Yum sauce. I think we probably Dame swore in the post game, says he's never seen that kind of stuff before. But I think we'll let we'll just post on X or on Threads. Where you can find both of us at the same ads. You can see here on the screen at Ty Windisch, at Jordan Treske. You can also find links to this show on all platforms, as well as Talking the Tundra. Jordan's going to be busy this week with the Packers taking on the Battle of the Bays, Green Bay versus Tampa Bay. Big game as the Packers try and weasel into, I shouldn't say weasel, that's negative. Try and
It's kind
roar
of
back up into the playoffs, steal a game ball into the playoffs this year. So check out Talking the Tundra, Cruising for a Bruising. Brewers, Hot Stove. They probably did the big thing, but you never know. You can find that pod as well at gspn.info. Please subscribe and rate and review on your podcast platforms, like on YouTube. Join the Discord. We always send a notification there when we're going live. So if you're saying, hey, I keep missing the live pods, join that Discord, get that notification when we do a live Talk of the Tundra and Eurostep and your Bucks pods, Eurostep, Win in 6 combinations and such. This has been a long outro. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. Pod Random, and we will talk to you next time. Not next time Giannis sets a record, maybe next time, but probably before then. But you never know these days. Pod Random, bye.